Hello and welcome to the show. I am Joe Tophat. We recently lost Peter Robbins, the original voice of Charlie Brown. He was 65 years old. In honor of his passing, this video will be about an often overlooked special in which he did the voice of Charlie Brown, Charlie Brown's All-Stars. Although the special was well received when it first came out in 1966, Charlie Brown's All-Stars has the misfortune of being sandwiched in between A Charlie Brown Christmas and It's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown, causing it to get overlooked. Does it deserve this? Let's find out. The special starts off with Charlie Brown running to catch a baseball. To his credit, he does catch it, only for the ball to fall out of his glove and land on the ground. The others don't take it very well. They are grown increasingly dissatisfied with losing all the time. Charlie Brown is then told to do his team a favor by not showing up to their next game. I know Charlie Brown isn't a very good ball player, but that was pretty harsh. Later on, they have another game and lose pretty badly. Everyone starts to cry over the loss. Having enough of losing, everyone decides to quit the team, including Snoopy. One thing I love about this special, over It's Your First Kiss, Charlie Brown, is that Charlie Brown is at fault. Even though I think the others are a little hard on him, he did fail to keep the ball in his glove. He's also the manager of the team. How bad the team does always reflects poorly on the manager. Anyway, Charlie Brown sits outside Mr. Hennessy's hardware store feeling sorry for himself. He starts to wonder if the team would be better off if he resigns as manager. Snoopy comes along with a letter of resignation for Charlie Brown to sign. Somebody's eager. Linus leaves the hardware store with some good news. Mr. Hennessy wants to sponsor their team, which means they get uniforms and get to play in a real league. Charlie Brown is excited, but Linus and Snoopy aren't sure if they should take the offer. Charlie Brown tries to tell the others the good news. At first they refuse to listen. When he finally tells them the news, they agree to give Charlie Brown another chance. It's kind of weird that Mr. Hennessy would want to sponsor a team that always loses, but it is his money. Everyone is excited for the new uniforms and a chance to play in a real league. Charlie Brown is probably the most excited. Then he gets a phone call from Mr. Hennessy, stating that the league won't allow girls or dogs. If Charlie Brown wants to play in a real league and get uniforms, he'll have to throw all the girls off the team and Snoopy too. I think if Charlie Brown had decided to throw them off the team, nobody would blame him. The girls are always putting him down, telling him that they're going to throw a party and not invite him, calling him names, and pulling away the football. It's not like they wouldn't throw Charlie Brown off the team if they were in his place. Snoopy, okay, I think we can all agree throwing him off the team would be a blockhead thing to do. Anyway, Charlie Brown refuses to throw them off the team. So, goodbye uniforms and goodbye league. One of the things I love about this scene is that it makes it clear Mr. Hennessy isn't responsible for the discriminatory rules. It would have been easy to make him the bad guy, but they make it clear he's just following the rules. Crappy rules, yes, but they're still the rules. Charlie Brown hopes that if they win their next game, everyone would be so happy they'll forget about the uniforms and the league. Or he can tell them what Mr. Hennessy said. But then again, they'll most likely find a way to blame Charlie Brown. Surprisingly, the team does very well their next game. They actually came pretty close to winning. Charlie Brown is able to get a hit and steal 3 bases. Then he tries to steal home and fails, causing his team to once again lose. He got a little too ambitious. It's here that Charlie Brown reveals that he turned down Mr. Hennessy's offer. So everyone quits. Linus then reveals the reason why Charlie Brown turned down Mr. Hennessy. In one of the rare instances, the girls feel pretty bad for the way they treated Charlie Brown. Schroeder even berates them over the way they treated him. So the girls and Snoopy decide to make Charlie Brown his own uniform, out of Linus's blanket. That's a nice thing to do for Charlie Brown, but a mean thing to do to Linus. The special ends with Linus and Charlie Brown standing in the rain on the pitcher's mound. Upon finding out that they made his uniform out of Linus's blanket, Charlie Brown lets him hold on to his shirt. Charlie Brown All-Stars is pretty good. I love how Charlie Brown is willing to give up being in the league and having uniforms out of loyalty. The girls never gave him a reason to do that, but he stuck by them anyway. It's also pretty funny how they use Linus's blanket for Charlie Brown's uniform. What I love most about Charlie Brown's All-Stars is that it showed that the Peanut specials don't need to be about a holiday, thus allowing more non-holiday specials to get made. Mr. Hennessy would later return in It's Spring Training Charlie Brown. Only in that special, he wanted Charlie Brown to win his first game, instead of kicking the girls and Snoopy off the team. It's a pretty good special as well. If you haven't seen Charlie Brown's All-Stars yet, I highly recommend getting the 60s collection. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think. And don't forget to like and subscribe. See ya later.